the information superhighway, an online network called Internet.
What other hidden talents do you have?
I can swallow my thumbs.
What?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I picked vague terms that would, apply to other talents.
Uh-huh.
Like you do the thumb trick where you remove your... look at me trying to do it right now. This means nothing.
That's
do you
really,
see how terrible
You're really bad at that.
I'm not even trying... This was my instinct, was to do this. That's not even how you're supposed to do it.
No. Call yourself a magician.
I know, right? You're supposed to do like a that or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's better. You're not supposed to show the rest of your thumb.
Here's my thumb.
In the
Is
trick.
this the thumb trick?
No.
Is this the thumb trick?
This is great for our podcast.
That's right. Welcome to Swallow My Thumb.
I already named it.
What's it called?
Thumb trick.
All right, thumb trick works.
It's my time to shine. It's got that alliteration.
No.
What?
Thumb trick
Yeah,
is not alliteration.
It's two
Dylan.
T's.
It doesn't matter what the words start with. It matters the sound
No,
that they make.
it's the starting. It's like how rhyme has to have a true rhyme has to have the same letters at the end.
Right. It can't just be the same sound.
No.
You're being ridiculous.
Am I?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to stop taking notes unless I have to edit something out.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like you probably don't need notes because Dennis doesn't get the notes.
No,
to write the
because it just stresses me out.
Yeah, why did you start writing notes?
To help with the editing.
All right,
but I stopped. Wanda's shaking up a storm.
That's right. Hi everyone, I'm Scott.
Say your catchphrase.
Was that not right?
No.
I don't know how you want me to say it.
There wasn't enough emphasis on the I'm.
I'm
Scott.
I genuinely don't know.
I'm Scott.
I can't do it when I'm asked.
I'm Scott.
Wanda's in your cup. Whole face in your cup.
That's old. It's her fault.
All right, fair enough. And sitting across from me this wonderful evening is...
President of the United States. Johnathee Bush.
Johnathee? The name... You think Johnathee is a name?
Yeah, it is.
Fair enough.
What was that notification?
It's a Twitter thing. People are liking my Wonder Woman review, but hey, we do not talk about comics on the podcast.
Wonder Woman is a character, not a comic.
You're right. But I will turn on Wi-Fi.
She's never had a comic book.
That is correct.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a comic book podcast, but you would not be the person I want to do it with.
Cool. I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Works out.
You're not current at all, and I'm always current, always.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you're not always current, always. You're current currently.
Sure. Well, I guess nobody is always current because there's no way everybody can read every comic the second they come out.
I just mean that there have definitely been times when you'll be like, man, I'm so far behind on comics. So the word always is what I was referring to.
I am most of the time current.
Fair enough. If I was on a podcast or even did a show where I had to stay current for the production, then I would do that. That adds accountability on my end. That would make me want to.
That's the reason that I had to, super get current, because that was what you were referring to when I was saying that I was so far behind. Was I was like 2 or 3 months behind on comics, just because I was still buying physical, so the large giant amorphous pile was terrifying me. It came to a point where I was like, there's no end to this pile.
Yeah.
But then I started working for Comicstorian, and we started a recap show, and I didn't want to get spoiled, so I forced myself to bear through it.
Yeah, that would definitely not be motivation for me.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
That's
I would
fair.
be like, I don't care.
Who cares?
But if it was on me to produce a show,
if we
did a podcast where we had to talk about it, then I would be like, I have to be current because that's somebody's counting on me to be current.
Wow. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I could just go on the poll whenever I wanted. Just talk about stuff there.
Okay.
But then it's not my podcast.
All right.
I did do that once. I went on there when Spider-Woman ended, and I was like, hey, I need a platform outside of my comic book show called The Show with Reviews.
Yeah.
Which you can go check out
that's what
forumscomics.com.
So that's what because we did the video game episodes recently.
Yeah.
That was your platform to talk about video games.
Yes.
Did we get response from that at all? Did people like that?
I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anybody say like me.
I got one tweet from somebody who said it felt like it should have been on a different podcast.
Yeah, I saw that as well, but I didn't take that as a criticism. I just took that as this feels like a different podcast.
Is that not a criticism?
No, it just felt like a thought.
Okay. To me that comes across as you guys are inconsistent.
What? There's nothing wrong with that. This is a conversational podcast. Of course we are.
Fair enough.
Speaking of The Legend of Zelda,
Uh-oh.
I have nothing to say.
All right, cool.
I'm
Are we
gonna
doing
find
music
that tweet.
still? Or no?
We could.
We don't have to.
Some people said that they like the music if it's appropriate.
Yeah.
Like it was good in the Zelda episodes because it was Zelda music.
Sure.
But sometimes it kind of derails conversations when it's just nothing.
Yeah. I don't
which is
mind
fair.
that. I think it's fun to improv.
Sure. But
Little bit.
somebody was like in the episode with Ricky, it was too much, which I disagree with. But
That was my favorite episode of this entire podcast.
is it?
Yep. Everything after and before sucks.
I like the one where we talk about the elephant in the room.
That is absolutely my least favorite episode of this podcast.
Trying to find the tweet that we were talking about so we can
Fair enough. Yeah, call him out.
call that boy out. Call that boy out.
Fair enough. I don't think it's important. The point is, I don't think it's important. Don't look into it. I didn't set up that Twitter account on my own and a separate email to tweet at us about it. It's fine. This is a safe space where you and I can talk about whatever's on our mind.
This mic smells good.
All right.
It smells like
Victory.
sauerkraut. Cheddar.
Is that one thing, or are you listing things?
List.
Okay.
List.
Fair enough. So I had a thing I want to... Oh, God.
Catherine Pena, 52.
Mm-hmm.
She's
her, yeah.
she's tweeted a bunch at us. She says, I like the Zelda saga, though I know nothing about it, so I understood absolutely nada. Don't care much for music. I can barely hear it in my earbuds, mainly because I have crappy earbuds, but bring back DJ Ricky. Oh, that was a different one than I thought.
Yeah, that's a different one.
That was a good. I just saw the music thing. Let's it was Will Skullface? Skull Will Skulltula from Zelda.
Nice.
He says, at an online podcast, I like breakdown episodes, but I don't like music unless Ricky is doing it. Oh, okay.
Oh, he likes Ricky doing it.
I didn't actually look at a lot of these because a lot of them are
neither.
just at us or at at instead of us.
I really don't like how you don't promote the actual Twitter account.
At an online podcast. James at VGC Kenny says, I like the background music. However, what I won't like is if the next episode isn't all about Big Wolf on campus.
I used to own this town. Now my life's turned upside down. I wish I could figure out. Sorry, you're looking like you want to read another tweet.
Grunkle Seamus at Grunkle Seamus says, background music?
Go follow.
I love it. It's my favorite thing. So it looks like people do overall like it.
Cool. So let's not do any right now.
Let me find some.
Okay. I did come prepared with a topic. Is that allowed?
Never.
All right. It's something I was thinking about the other day.
I did for literally 3 episodes.
I know. So I just got back from a YouTuber conference in Palm Springs, California. Because I'm a big rich YouTuber and I get to spend lots of money. What? It's a Wonder Woman theme song.
Yeah, this was stuck in our heads. We just saw Wonder Woman for context. Anyway.
So anyway, yeah, we I just got back from the YouTuber conference thing. Not because I'm a big money spending YouTuber, but because most of it was free. And while I was in California, I was rooming with the Boss Level 8 guys, who I've done a lot of stuff with on my channel and podcasts, so stuff like that. So they were telling me about, trying to convince me to move to California. And I was like, well, what kind of space can I get for what kind of money? And they were saying, yeah, you could probably get like a 1-bedroom or something like that for about $1,600
Wait a
month.
Holy shit.
It's California.
I didn't think it was that bad. That's twice what I'm paying for a 2-bed.
Right, so it's pretty bad.
Where are they, though?
They're in LA.
Okay, like in the midst of it? Okay,
yeah.
That makes sense.
So,
yikes.
But either way, I mean, it's going to be about that same no matter where you go.
You go like Orange County probably.
Right. So I don't just want to move to blank canvas California wherever's cheapest. Obviously, I need to be within a decent enough, because I don't drive either, so I need to be within a decent enough distance of
live in Hollywood.
Stuff. Sure. But the point is, I got to check out their living arrangements, and like between the two of them, I think they have a 2-bed, and their whole recording space is out in their living room, and they do everything there. And I realized how much of my apartment, it finally clicked how much of my apartment is dedicated to just nothing.
Yeah, you don't have a fucking table.
The table is unimportant.
All right. How old are you? 24?
I'm 24.
You don't own a table.
Look,
you don't own a table.
I do not need a table.
Eat at a table, Scott.
Why would I do that when I have a couch?
We're sitting at a table right now.
Yeah, because it's convenient for recording.
Eat at a table.
Why would I do that?
You don't even have a coffee table that you could put it on.
Yes, I
Your
do.
coffee table is like off to the side.
You mean a side table?
Yeah, you don't eat at a side table. If you had a coffee table, whatever. But Scott has this giant hole in his living room where his dining room is supposed to be, where there's nothing.
I want to talk about this because I still do not see this as a problem.
I would even be fine if there was something there and it wasn't a table. Clearly a table is supposed to go there.
Right. I don't care what's supposed to go anywhere.
Sure, that's fine. But there's nothing there.
So I want to talk about this because it would have never crossed my mind if you hadn't mentioned it, and also Drake also has mentioned it on occasion when he's come over to my place. He said something like, I don't see why you need this much space.
No.
And I want to be clear about something. And this is the kind of, so very first and foremost, I still refuse to see this as a problem. I don't see how it's a problem, and I don't see how it's hurting anybody.
Because humans have tables. No, it's not hurting anybody.
So why is it a big deal?
You ever eaten at a table?
Of course I have. We just had dinner.
Feels incredible.
No, it doesn't. It feels like eating. I can eat anywhere. I hate this.
Eating
I want to take the music controls away from you.
Why?
Because this joke only lasts so long.
I'm trying to emphasize my point.
Tables are dumb. Listen.
Tables are incredible.
How are they? All right, genuinely, speak earnestly. Are you actually a huge table fan?
Not like in my everyday life, but when my 24-year-old friend doesn't have a fucking table.
Why does it matter?
Me.
Why does it bother you?
Because there's nothing in that space.
So?
It's upsetting.
Well, but okay, so if people could see the space that you live in, almost from day one, you had inch to inch, wall to wall, covered in all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
and I'm not done yet.
And you're not done yet. That to me
feels like a home.
No, that to me feels
lived
like
in.
No, it feels cluttery to me.
How?
Because look at all of the stuff.
Well, that's a set.
But look, even still, you've got like stuff over on this little wall here that you've hung up.
Yeah, because what else am I gonna do there?
Nothing. You can do nothing there.
But then it looks useless.
No, it looks fine.
No.
It doesn't have. Just because you see a blank wall doesn't mean you have to put something on it.
Here are my points. Well, there's nothing on that, is there?
Okay, but
because there's an outlet there.
Yeah. Okay.
It's different.
All right.
My points for a table.
All right.
Number one, it's much easier to eat food at.
Are you just incompetent at eating food?
Excuse you. No, certain dishes are difficult to... Case in point.
You have a plate. It's a portable table.
Case in point. Wait a minute. How do you fucking eat steak without a table?
I just eat it. I don't know. I just
with
do.
a fork and knife. Wouldn't the plate like go everywhere?
No.
Do you have like locked knees? How do you do that?
I don't know. I've never had a problem.
Anyway, regardless, put the eating thing aside. What if you want to have people over?
I can't.
Case in point, when I was over and we ordered Jimmy John's and you apologized for not having a table.
I want to point out this was when I just moved in. I didn't.
No, this happened a couple weeks ago.
When we had what? When?
A little bit ago when I was over during the day. The reason he said he can't have people over is because his apartment complex tows people after 9 o'clock for some reason.
You ordered Jimmy John's on your own.
No. I didn't actually do that.
Okay.
But there was a time, like maybe a month or two ago, where we were both over there working on something. And we ordered Jimmy John's before we left to go somewhere because I wanted Jimmy John's and my place doesn't get it delivered.
Right.
And
I had it previously, and then you were like, "Hey, did you just have Jimmy John's? I want Jimmy John's." I got you. Okay.
And then I couldn't eat anywhere.
How could you not eat anywhere?
Because there wasn't room.
It's a sandwich. It's a portable food item. You could eat anywhere.
I didn't have any place to set it down. I didn't have a place to set my drink down. I had a bag of chips. I felt like I was being very rude eating on your couch.
How is that rude?
Because I don't want to get crumbs all over your couch. That's what a table's for.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Look, I don't see... To me, a table is just in the way. A table is something... Look, I don't feel the need for a table. When you're sitting... When you're here...
How about that one time when you first moved in and we played Legendary and we had to do it on your fucking bed?
Yeah, and remember what happened after that? You got towed, which signaled to me that, oh, hey, guess what? I don't need a table because this will never happen again.
So if you move into Paradise Disneyland, are you not going to get a table still?
I probably will.
Well, there you go.
Well, I'm not saying I'm anti-table. I'm saying I don't need a table.
I offered you a table for free.
And remember what I literally just said out of my mouth. I do not need a table right now.
But you have so much empty space.
But I don't see that as a problem. Why is that a problem?
Because you're wasting money.
How is that a waste?
Because you're not putting anything there. You could have.
Would I be wasting more money if I bought things to put there?
You could build like a nice extra set.
No, it's too echoey in that room.
Well, then you could have your Starbucks Winter Wonderland. Remember when we bought my car? Mm-hmm. My car
that Yuko paid for.
And there was a popcorn machine, and you fell in love, and we had this fantasy of you buying a bunch of like circus items, and that's what that area was going to be for?
Sure.
Where's the popcorn machine, Scott?
Again, waste of money.
3 months ago, you would hate you right now.
I brought this up because I wanted to defend myself, and I feel like I haven't gotten the ability to do that yet.
Because you're wrong.
No, listen to me, all right?
All right, I'm sorry.
This is what I realized. I like having that empty space. I enjoy having that blank space.
What do you do there?
I pace.
You think I can't pace in this apartment?
You can pace in very specific set things, but if you have a big empty space, you can pace however you want.
I feel like I have the equivalent of that empty space in the middle of my office.
No, I have a lot more space.
Fair enough.
Listen, so here's the thing. I grew up always having at least one, maybe two roommates. Okay. People living in the same space as me, the same room as me. Space was not an option when I was growing up. I even, when I was a kid, we lived in a mobile home. So, like, even imagine a mobile home where 3 people were in one room.
Oh, no.
So, yeah. I never had space. And so, yes, when I moved out, I like space. I like just having space to say it's my space. I don't need it to do anything. I just like to have it.
But what if you had a table?
What would I do? What would I do with a table?
Compromise.
No.
Compromise.
Why would I compromise?
Compromise here.
You will never... Think about how much time you spent at my apartment.
Yeah,
exactly.
Listen,
exactly.
That's because I'm talking about the future here. We all know you're moving out of that garbage place at some point, whether it be to Paradise Island or to LA or wherever else. What if, hear me out,
Okay, I'm hearing.
Because right now, it just looks like emptiness, nothing.
And I love that.
That's fine. I understand the pacing argument.
Mm-hmm. I also don't like to have a lot of stuff that distracts me.
Sure, that's fine. But what if you made it look like it's not just an accident and you put a rug there?
Why does it look like an accident?
Because there's nothing there.
But why does it need something there?
Because then it looks like you have a furnished home and you...
But who lives there, Dylan?
You.
Yeah, so wouldn't it... I don't mind, and I'm the only person that lives there.
What if you have a lady friend over and she's like, how long have you lived here?
If she goes, boy, there really needs to be a table here. The end of relationship.
No, she'll be a confident, reasonable adult. And you can send her my way, and I'll be like, yes!
And I want to point out again, I cannot have people over at
Yes,
my
you
apartment.
can. You just can't after 9.
Yeah, which basically means never, because I sleep during the day.
Well, that's not always true.
It is currently, and it is for a lot of...
Ricky and I have been over there multiple times to work on things.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to leave. You could just Uber there and hang out after 9.
Yeah. So far, no one has offered to do that.
I've done that multiple times.
When?
When I was working with you and we had to pull long nights.
When did we ever do that?
A lot of times.
I feel like we always came here.
We would come here, or sometimes we would be here first, and then I wanted to come work on something at your place. And instead of driving there, we would Uber together.
I don't remember that at all.
I do. It
what did
happened.
we work on?
Videos when
Do
I was
remember
working
a
with
specific
you.
one? I don't
know.
This honestly it's not ringing any bells.
I remember when we were gearing up to do Tales from the Comments.
Okay.
We were working on that sometimes. Just filming stuff
What do
late
you
at
mean
night.
we were gearing up? Do you mean like when...
Figuring out how to make that work. The live version.
Right. Do you mean like before we ever did one?
Yeah.
Or like...
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure... I don't remember that happening.
I remember there definitely was a time where I spent the night there. I didn't sleep, but because it was one of the first times we did Tales from the Comments live, and I had been up all night.
Yeah.
And we Ubered there because I didn't want to get towed, and I knew I was going to be there all night.
Yeah, I'm not... This doesn't sound familiar to me at all.
It happened, I swear.
Okay, well, it's your word against
I
mine.
remember because you took a nap, and I was just working on the thumbnails and reading comic books in your office.
Mm-hmm.
And then you woke up, or I woke you up, and we did Tales from the Comments live on the internet.
Fair enough.
And you know what I really wished I had?
What?
A table.
For what? For what?
To sit and eat at and play some board games with my friends.
No, you didn't bring board games. I don't own board games.
You should. You could have people over and host.
Okay, I want to point out a second thing,
Be
which is I don't
hospitable.
like having people over.
I thought you did.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not the kind of person that likes to host things. I don't want to host. I don't even like going to parties. Why would I host them?
Well, I didn't mean parties. I just meant more so like just having some boys over.
Right. I like going
One or
out.
two.
I already spend so much time in my apartment. Why
That's
would I
fair.
invite other people to lock me in further?
Well, then here's my question,
Yeah.
which I feel like you were trying to hit at. Where when you were saying that you don't know why you need that much space,
Mm-hmm.
were you trying to say that the pacing and just liking space is the reason, or are you wanting to downsize?
I'm just saying. I guess my overall point was that I genuinely would never have noticed, even a little bit. Like
okay.
it's not that I'm like I purposely go out and I say I want a big space, or even I'm acknowledging like, oh, I need a smaller space. It's just I would have never thought. I would have thought. To me, it looks like a furnished home. I know that sounds silly to you, but
There's
because
nothing there.
Right, exactly. It doesn't need to have something to be finished.
What if you got a rug and put some sitting pillows there?
Why would I do that? Why would I sit? I have a couch, Dylan. Why would I sit on the floor?
No sitting pillows then. Just a rug. Tie the room together.
My version of decorating is what is necessary.
That's not decorating. That's living.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Don't call it decorating.
It's still I'm still putting stuff places.
It's not. That's just you. Like your office, fantastic.
Okay.
Feels like a human lives there.
Right, but think about how much stuff I have in play that is because it's necessary that also counts as decoration, like my divider that I have up. That's decoration.
That's
it's
not
also
necessary.
It's necessary to how I work because I get distracted by stuff.
That's fair. All of your sets aren't necessary.
For filming, they are.
You could do your job without a set.
Fair enough, but I don't want to.
So it's decoration.
Right. So hold on. Well, how far are we going to take that train down? Because theoretically, I could just say, I could just not make videos. It's not necessary to my life.
Okay. Well, no, that is necessary. That's your job. That's how you make money and live.
Is that necessary, or is that just an option that I can use to make money to live?
It's necessary in the context. But a set doesn't improve. Like, YouTube doesn't give a shit how good your set is.
No, but they also don't care about the kind of content that I make either.
Sure.
Like, so I could just... Is spending hours on a video necessary?
No.
So, like, how far are we going to take this train hole down before we say...
You know what is necessary?
Nothing's necessary. What?
A table.
It's not. It's not, Dylan.
What are we sitting at right now?
We're sitting at a table, Dylan.
How do you feel?
I feel like, in this context,
incredible.
It's necessary.
You feel great.
Mm-hmm.
You feel amazing. What if I wanted to record the podcast at your place one day? Can't.
No.
It's impossible.
Fine.
Why? Because you don't bother to...
If you
take my free card table that I've offered.
Because I hate it.
Well, then buy a table on
For what reason, Dylan? For what reason would I need a table right now?
Scott just snapped at me.
I hate tables.
I'm so sad. I feel like this is the point where I've genuinely made you angry.
I'm not genuinely angry,
that
but
felt
I am
like genuine anger.
It's just a ton of frustration built up.
I'm sorry. I genuinely don't care if you have a table or not. It's just funny to me that you don't.
I don't need one.
As a person who is a big advocate for tables and making a home feel and look like a home, your lifestyle is very confusing to me.
My home feels like a home to me.
That's fair. I'll take it.
It's my home that I enjoy. And part of it is the space. I like the empty, blank space.
Sure. All I'm saying is to compromise.
Why? If we were roommates, compromise sounds like a plan. We are not roommates.
You got guests?
I don't.
Well, maybe you will.
I won't. I've lived there for a year, almost a year now.
In the future.
Mm-hmm.
Why haven't you moved yet to the new place? You still testing the rent situation?
No, it's more so that I'm trying to set moving goals for myself, where I'm going to say, I need this much money and I need these many videos done ahead of time. It's not a time thing.
Okay.
It's a whenever. Because obviously I need to make sure that I have videos done for the move. And I need to make sure that I have enough money for the move.
I didn't know that was a thing. I can stockpile some parallels if that helps.
I mean, you can if you want, but mostly I just want, videos done.
I want to see you in a place that you want to be at.
I don't not want to be at my current place.
That's fair.
I feel like honestly, I feel like you and Drake and maybe a couple other people see my current place as like really bad, as like really sketchy.
I don't see it as awful. I just see it as, because I feel like I was in the same situation as you, where I was in a place that I was fine with, but it's not really what I wanted.
Yeah.
And because I was in like a weird kind of sketchy neighborhood, and it wasn't I didn't have as much space as I wanted, which is not an issue for you, but there were just weird things with the complex that I didn't really like.
Yeah.
And now I'm in this place, which I love and don't have like next to no issues with. And I feel like that's what Disneyland is for you.
Yeah, it's kind of like that for sure. But I might not move there. I might go to Virginia or Los Angeles.
Sure.
Who knows? But my goal is to, before I don't want to set a time frame. I want to set here's what I have to get done.
Okay.
In order to
and then you
justify moving, sort of a thing. So.
Take some check boxes out.
Yeah.
If people are confused as to what I keep referring to as Disneyland.
Yeah, I'm moving to Disneyland.
Yes. There's an apartment complex
when
that...
I say I'm moving to LA, that's what I mean.
That's Disneyland. There's an apartment complex that looks like a Disney resort that Scott wants to move to.
Yes, it's really cool.
It's a great time.
It's really cool, and it makes me feel like I'm a rich person, and it's not much more rent than what I'm paying right now.
Right.
So
do it, even if just for a small 6-month lease.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the big part of the reason why I want to move right now is not because I'm unhappy where I am in my current apartment, but it's more so. The big reason I moved to Texas was to be around other YouTubers who make cool stuff. Mm-hmm. You, Drake, Ricky, Eris, even. And if you'll notice, that like kind of group of people rarely get together to actually make stuff.
Yeah.
Me and Ricky have work summits occasionally, and those happen every so often.
Yeah, every couple weeks.
And I can't get any work done at those because I'm just so excited.
That's your problem.
Well, I'm just so excited to hang out with people, and I can't, and I just don't.
You know how you could remedy that?
By inviting people over to look at my new table?
Well, the table doesn't have to be an equation, but the rest of it is true.
No, so I mean, that's part of the reason I want to move to a place that is within walking distance to me, other people who are creative, and I can be in that sort of atmosphere daily.
Who's to say that you're looking at... All right, so you were looking at Texas with the eyes of, I'm going to go there and we're going to collaborate all the time.
It doesn't have to be collaborate.
Or just
just be in the
whatever.
Creative vicinity and
right.
feed off of each other's energies and whatnot.
What if you're having those same thoughts about LA, and when you move to LA, the same thing that happened here is going to hit you there?
So here's the reasons like why those are better options, LA and Virginia. With Virginia, for you guys who don't know, that's where the Super Carlin Bros are,
mm-hmm.
And DK, who used to be a Nerd Sync editor.
Mm-hmm.
DK is specifically trying to find a place in the same apartment complex.
Oh, okay.
Where I don't think it's where they live. I think they rent out a place and use it as an office because it's cheaper than getting an office.
That's illegal. At least here it is.
It might be different in Virginia. And again, I could be misquoting what's happening with them. But the idea is that in the same complex, hopefully same building, it would be a bunch of creative people working on stuff.
See, that sounds like a nightmare to me.
Oh, really?
I just don't... I don't want people living in the same complex as me, because the reality would hit where... And this is why I don't introduce myself to my neighbors very often, is I don't want someone knocking on my door without me knowing that they're going to knock on my door and be like, hey, want to hang out? Or hey, want to work on something?
Oh, yeah.
Because this is my home, and I don't want people in here unless I've invited them over. Or if they have like some kind of problem that they need to figure out. Like if Drake came bleeding on my doorstep and I didn't know that he needed my help, I wouldn't turn him away.
I invite you, Drake.
He's done that before. Not the bleeding thing, but he has come by before and just been like, here's some food. And I'm like, this is upsetting to me. Like, I appreciate it, but I didn't know you were doing this. And I know it's a nice thing, but it scares me.
Why is that?
I don't know. I like to, this is my space.com. And
you'd have more space if you got rid of the table.
No, the table is part of my space.com. And I like to be in control of that. Mm-hmm. Like, that was something like when I was living with my parents, and still now to an extent, but I've gotten over it, I had a big fear of having my back to any wall when I was on a computer or working on anything, because I just had such a fear of like my parents barging in or someone barging in to, like, that's one of the reasons I hated living with other people, because I don't like the idea of someone coming in and interrupting me when I don't expect it. So
that's fine. I think I like the idea of a shared space where like for the Super Carlin Bros thing, if if I heard them correctly, and they do rent out an apartment just to work at, where nobody lives there, and then I just had a key and I could drop in whenever I want.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
That's fine.
I like the idea of like it's an office
It's
space.
more of an office. Yeah, I'm fine with an office, but that's like even I think this is really the problem is if I had other people living in my apartment complex, I would never feel truly alone, which some people might be like, well, that's terrible. You never want to feel truly alone, but I do. I need time to myself, and I feel like I would never have that if you were living here, or if Drake were living here, or if family members were living here.
Yeah.
So, but like an office. That's I would love to have, like when you were talking about a NerdSync office, where people could just drop by and hang out and work there. That sounds great, because whenever I wanted to, I could just go hang out there and work on some stuff.
Yeah,
but
man. It's still on the Patreon goals list, I think.
I don't know if you would make it here, though.
Nah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I also just like the idea of... I grew up in a cul-de-sac where...
So did I.
Right. So this was like... very heavily inspired by Ed, Ed, and Eddie, where everyone just knew everybody and would just go hang out and whatever.
That terrifies me.
I like that. That to me feels more like home than anything.
That's fair.
And I like the idea, and I still feel like when I'm in my room or in a space in my home, I still do feel that alone, kind of like, no one's bothering me right now sort of a thing.
I don't know how you can, because there's constantly people talking or playing music outside your house, and you always have the windows open, even if a small child in their family is looking into your office, gawking at all of your belongings.
That's a true story that happened?
Yep. And I'm like, Scott, you want to close your blinds? And you're like, no, look, they're just enjoying my office.
That's fine.
I'm like, what the fuck?
I just have faith in humanity. Maybe too much?
Someone breaks into your mailbox every day.
Not every day.
Just about. I feel like it's getting more frequent.
It's not.
I think someone knows.
It's certainly not getting more frequent.
It seems more frequent to me.
No. I want to, for accuracy's sake, it happens like once every few months.
That's too much.
I get
Why
that.
is someone continually trying? Do you think it's the same person? It has to be, right?
I feel like it's a group of people.
The mailbox, the wrecking crew.
Whoever it is either lives in the apartment complex or at least knows someone who lives in the apartment complex.
Why do they want to break into someone's mail?
I don't know.
Are they gearing up to break into someone's house?
I don't think so.
Apparently, occasionally in this complex, I never hear about it, but people get mugged every so often out in the complex, and just the following morning I'll get an email that's like, just so everybody knows, someone was robbed last night in the parking lot. Carry on. I'm like, okay.
I get you.
At least nobody broke into our mailboxes.
So after like the mobile home, a couple years later, when our family moved to South Carolina, we lived in a very small, and we still continue to always live in small neighborhoods where we have a security system. We don't need it. We could go on vacation with the doors unlocked and we'd be fine.
The South.
Yeah. And so that's that's just kind of the mindset that I get whenever I'm home or whenever I leave home, is I'm just like, look, people are generally good.
Ooh.
I wholeheartedly believe that regardless. I think people writ large are generally good.
You live in a metropolitan area.
That whose mailbox gets broken in, as you said multiple times. So look, I mean,
gotta be a little more careful.
No, I feel like it's fine. Nothing terrible has happened.
Somebody stole your doormat.
That's terrible.
Somebody gave your doormat.
It was a horrible doormat.
That's a next step.
It was a mess. It was torn apart.
Somebody did you a favor.
I feel like I don't think someone stole it. I think the maintenance crew was like, "Ooh, someone left garbage out here."
That's fair. I don't know, man.
Look, I
get the same vibe that from your complex that I get from my first complex, where at large, nobody's like out to get anyone, but it just feels like there's kind of a weird melting pot of, there's some shadiness going on. Yeah. It's just the area. I mean, my area is not much better. My complex is just hidden away, and it's a tiny bit more ritzy.
Yeah.
Than yours.
It's also part of the reason I hate living on the first floor.
Oh, I love living on the first floor.
So you like living on the first floor for the bookend experience of
yes.
moving.
It's so much easier.
I like living on floors above the first floor because though if you're worried about people breaking in, that would be
difficult,
more of a deterrent for sure.
I think for me also living on the first floor makes because I don't really like living in apartments, but just because they don't feel like homes to me.
Yeah.
But this apartment feels like a home, and it being on the first floor is a contributing factor to that.
I like the idea of. I mean, I don't know. I just like living anywhere. I guess I don't have a preference. Living on a second floor or higher makes me feel like I'm living the sweet life of Zach and Cody. You know what I mean? Like it feels like a hotel to me.
Yeah, but do you want to live in a hotel forever?
If it's got enough pacing space.
Fair enough. Which most hotels do not.
Nah, they're pretty packed tight.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Do you think you don't care where you live because you moved so much as a child?
Probably. And I think I also just like moving. I like the experience of going somewhere. Moving. I mean, the overall experience of the actual physical move. Right. Not a fan.
Garbage.
I don't like being complacent in where I live.
Oh, I'm a settler. I settle down.
I'm of the mindset where I'll settle down once I'm accomplished. Until then, I will continue to move around because I like new experiences. I feel like, I mean, even where I live currently, I walk in different directions just to experience new sights that I might not have seen before. Just because I get sick of the same stuff every day, so I like to move for generally the sake of moving. I've said this before. I like change for the sake of change.
Yeah.
Because I just don't like looking at the same stuff every day.
It's fair. Yeah, that's definitely like just a personality difference. Because I lived in the same place for 17 years. I never moved as a kid. So
would you ever move out of Texas? Do you think?
Probably.
Yeah.
Honestly, every day I consider it more and more.
Yeah. Where would you go?
Colorado. Just because that's literally the only reason is because currently I'm working for Comic Story and they're based up there in Loveland, and I went to visit there, and they have the weather that I love.
Yeah.
And it's not like terrible. It's really pretty up there in that area that's close to Denver. And it's just like getting started, so rent's pretty cheap. And of course, it would be fun and interesting for the job up there. But my one concern is like the one weekend I spent up there felt like 3 weeks.
Yeah. Because
we did so much in those 3 days, and I feel like if I moved up there, that would be my everyday life, and I would want to die.
Yeah.
And like no offense to Benny or anyone, it's just like he moves very fast. He does so much every day.
Right.
And I don't know if I can. And honestly, I don't know if that is his day to day, but it feels like that is. I don't know if we were just jam packing everything because we were only there for 3 days.
Right.
Because we were trying to film something that is not out yet. But yeah, and the only reason I consider it more and more every day is because all of my high school friends and childhood friends are moving away for college soon. You're moving soon, probably, or at some point. And then, like, other than that, I don't really have too many tethers here. I don't have a lot of friends here, so.
And then you just release Wanda to the wild.
No, she would come with me. But yeah, I consider moving out of Texas more and more every day. I still really love Texas. The weather gets a little too hot sometimes, but I just feel like there's a lot going on here, and you got everything you need right in this little area. This little old Texas.
Little old Texas.
Little old Texas. Plus, I just know it, and I'm deathly afraid of going to a place where I don't know anything.
Oh, that's my favorite.
And I have to learn everything again.
You just experience new things. That's awesome.
I know, but like, I don't like. I feel like I would be a tourist forever.
Yeah.
If I move, I don't know at what point I would feel like I'm home again. Because here I'm like 10 minutes away from my childhood house, so I feel like. I'm an authority when people come to visit, or like I know what I'm doing. I don't feel like a tourist or anything, and I don't know. It just makes me feel good.
I've felt that way my entire life.
Yeah. Again, like difference in just because you grew up different than I did.
Because you know this about I don't even bother memorizing cities or directions or street names.
We were talking about that earlier.
Because it's like number one, I don't drive, so it's not something that I consciously think about. But also, I just don't like. I lived in South Carolina for nearly 10 years, and I never even bothered to learn like the street just outside of where I live. Because it's like, why? Why would I do that?
What if somebody asked you where you lived?
I would say, here's my address. Use a GPS.
What if they don't have a GPS? What if they want a cross section?
They what?
What if you don't even know what a cross section is?
No, what?
It's the streets. So you say like,
oh,
I'm gonna make up
they
street
want
names.
a cross section.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So they're like LMNOP and QRST.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say that. I would
cross street.
I would just say, here's my address.
What if they don't know how to get there? They'd be like, what's the cross street? What's the nearest?
This has happened before. Let me tell you exactly what I do. I hand it to my parents.
What if they're not there?
Then I say.
What if it's just you?
And I say, wait.
What?
My parents get home.
What if you're hurt?
Yeah.
You've fallen and you can't get up.
I turn on my GPS on my phone.
No, all cell towers are down.
Okay.
You call the police and they're like...
How could I do that when the cell towers are down, Dylan?
Shit, you got me. Somebody else calls the police. They're on a different plan than you, so they get service, but you don't.
Do they know the directions?
No, they don't.
Well, then, boy.
So nobody's like, where do you live? And you have to give them a cross street because they only know cross streets.
I've never dealt with cross streets in my entire life. Even just in passing, I've never heard anyone give cross streets
What if you're like, oh yeah, I really like this Chinese place on.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to say on. You'd just be like, I really like this Chinese place. Where is it?
Down the road. I know it when I see it.
What are you gonna take someone there? Do you at least recognize the names of the places you go to?
Probably. Chinese restaurants is a little bit tricky because a lot of them serve the same kind of food, but and have very similar names. They'll be like Royal China,
Racist.
Royal Star China, or something, and it's very difficult for me to determine. Because Chinese food specifically, I try out all the places, and I try to find the best one, and then I forget because they all run together.
You should write it down or remember the cross street it's on.
Well, no, I mean I don't walk there, drive there, so I usually
you just order, right? Scott Nicewander refuses to get a license at the
That's true.
Good age of 24.
Again, it's the same table argument where I've just never needed one.
It's just a safety precaution.
Yeah, I mean I already have a car.
No, you fucking don't. You've never made a payment on it. You want to start paying for it?
No. Are you still paying for your couch, by the way?
I thought we settled, or the chair. I thought we were done with that.
Are we done with that?
I think so.
I can't remember.
It's been a while. Anyway.
Yeah,
I feel like not having a license or not knowing how to drive is more like a safety issue at this point. Not having a car, whatever. You can get around. But not having a license just to me feels unsafe.
How?
Because what if you're in a situation where you need to drive somewhere?
So paranoid about all these things.
I am. It's like it's a skill that I think.
I'm not in a situation where I need to drive anywhere. I can call an Uber.
No, but like, what if you are in a situation? Like, what if I'm driving you somewhere and I pass out?
Okay.
Or like I have a panic attack. But you're not
call an ambulance.
Legally allowed to.
Hold on now. Do you think anyone's gonna take me to court and say, Your Honor, this man was trying to save his friend's life, but he was not allowed to touch that wheel, so he needs to go to jail. Look, I still have a permit that I probably need to renew at some point. But look, I know the basics.
Want the skill?
I've driven before.
What if we go on a road trip?
Yeah.
You're not going to feel guilty about me doing all the driving?
Not really.
Because you just refuse?
If you offered, then no.
Why would I offer?
I assume that's
I'm
why
not going to be like...
I assume that's why we haven't had a road trip, but I've done this before with a couple friends who drive.
We've never had a road trip because we never needed a road trip to the same place before.
Well, there you go.
But if there was such a situation, like if we were going to a con in Austin or something, you wouldn't feel bad?
What could I do, Dylan?
Drive for halfway.
No, not in the span of time. Like I'm saying in the situation where I can't drive. Of course, I wouldn't feel bad because what other option would there be?
Drive.
Once again.
No, I'm saying
in the situation where I cannot drive.
Yeah.
I would not feel bad because I can't drive. There's no other option.
But the other option is going to get your license.
Not in that scenario.
Sure. But no. I'm saying, like, after the fact, the thought wouldn't cross your mind, like, man, if I had my license, I might be able to help out here.
I mean, it would probably cross my mind, but I don't know if I would feel bad about it. It would just be more like an observation.
How rude.
It's not.
Would you at least offer to pay for gas?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool.
I'm not a monster.
That's fair.
I'd probably pay for food at some point as well. I play to my strengths.
What if, in this scenario that we've made up, where you move to Virginia, which is relatively close to Texas?
Of course it is.
You wouldn't feel bad about me driving up there every couple weeks to record the podcast?
Why would you drive to Virginia, Dylan?
I don't know.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Or just drive. If you moved somewhere relatively close to Texas,
yeah,
you wouldn't feel bad?
If you drove up?
Yeah, every time.
Well, I figured
you made no initiative.
I figured we would. Well, I feel like
zero initiative. I got there and you didn't have a table.
Oh my god!
And we had to record on the floor.
Look, I feel like you're setting up a scenario where the only possible outcome is that I'm a horrible person.
This is the outcome that I feel like is the true thing that will happen.
If I move to Virginia, that's not a drive.
Okay.
That's a fly.
Whatever.
And then we would alternate who does what. Or I could just...
Would you pay for the flight every time because you feel bad about making me drive you everywhere all the time always?
No. Because you wouldn't be driving me anymore. I would be in Virginia.
Who's going to drive you in Virginia?
Ubers. The same people that drive me here.
You're going to waste all that money?
Is it a waste if I have to go there? I mean, how much more am I wasting if I did car insurance and gas?
No, I'm not saying buy a car. I'm just saying get a license.
How would I drive anywhere, Dylan, if I didn't have a car?
You could drive your car.
The one that's in Texas when I'm in Virginia?
No, we're forget about Virginia. Maybe I move to Virginia with you in that fictional scenario.
Okay.
Regardless.
So you and I would just share a car. We'd have to live physically in the same space, which is a thing that you do not like.
No, you Uber to the car.
I Uber to the car.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You see how this is not making sense.
Listen. Alls I'm saying is getting a license is a rite of passage for a 16-year-old boy. And you are 8 years past that.
You
also have never bought a table.
I have bought a table.
For whom?
For my old apartment when I lived with my brother.
Yeah, and I bet y'all ate at it and it felt great.
We actually did not. No, it's mostly collected clutter, which is why I also do not have a table right now.
See any clutter on here?
Well, no, because we record stuff.
Was there any clutter before?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
There wasn't.
So let's just say yes.
There wasn't. This mic still smells good.
Okay.
Just humor me.
Okay.
Go in.
All right.
You have your permit already, correct?
It needs to be renewed.
Renew your permit.
Okay.
Take driving test.
How?
Easy peasy.
Okay. I need to practice driving at some point.
All right, I'll teach you.
You cannot legally do that.
You're right. Who can? Drake. Ricky.
He's 40 minutes away.
Well, that's your practice.
Yeah.
On the terrifying Dallas highways.
Take my car to Ricky's.
How dare you? So what if he's 40 minutes away? We'll go there. We'll make the journey there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should offer that at some point to go there.
I've always
But I just don't want to invite myself over.
That's not a problem for me. It's more so like for me. It's more so like I don't know if he wants us to go over there.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll probably propose the idea. I'll just be like, hey, if you ever want to do work summit at your place or just us come there.
I'm all for new experiences.
Yeah.
I like seeing a new place.
I've seen the outside of his home.
Oh,
dropped him off once.
I've only seen the inside.
Have you?
He films videos in his house.
That's not. I meant in person.
Oh, gotcha.
Nice wonder.
I teleported there once. Never saw the outside.
You were blindfolded. Ricky kidnapped you.
That's correct.
Ricky napped you.
Look, I'm sure I'll learn to drive eventually. If I move.
Why? What's the circumstance where you learn to drive eventually?
Let me tell you right now.
Huh? When you have some kids, when you settle down and it becomes a necessity?
Probably. Look.
Why not do it now?
Because it's not a necessity. Listen, if I move to Virginia, if I move to LA, not a chance I'm going to be driving. I'm just going to walk everywhere or get a Lyft or whatever because those are readily available.
People do drive a lot in LA.
That's fine.
And Ubers get expensive because of traffic, so...
That's fine. I'm also swimming in all of that YouTube money.
All that Patreon money.
Just kidding. Just kidding. If I move to Virginia, specifically, that is a 6-hour drive to my home in South Carolina.
Yes.
That would be the only reason I would want to learn how to drive.
Okay.
Is because obviously I can't. It would be horrible for me to ask a friend to drive me 6 hours for something that doesn't help them or doesn't
just fly.
Because then that gets more expensive.
Than buying a car?
Then
wrong.
Well, if I travel often.
That's true. If you how often do you plan on going home?
At least once a month.
Yeah, then it's cheaper.
To fly?
Yeah.
But it's also a hassle.
That's fair.
Flying,
you can just that another point. I feel like driving gives you a sense of freedom. What if there are no Ubers?
Yeah.
0 Ubers.
Then guess what?
You're just stuck.
Yeah. That's one less decision I have to make today.
I can pick up and go to Austin right now and hang out with Wheezy Waiter.
Yeah.
Probably not, but I could go to Austin right now and hang out with my old friend from 4th grade.
Wheezy Waiter.
Wheezy Waiter. If I really wanted to.
Yeah.
But I won't.
Probably. No. Look, I don't know. I do that. I mean, I walk a lot of places. You
can't walk to Austin.
No, I can't walk to Austin. I also don't have a reason to go to Austin.
Well, it's just Austin is like the theoretical place, far place.
I also feel like for buying a car, I would buy just a thing that takes me from point A to point B. I wouldn't get a new car. I wouldn't get even.
That's fair.
I wouldn't even get
my
a
plan
recent
wasn't
car.
get a new car.
Right. I wouldn't even get a recent car. I would get a car that works.
I mean, to be fair, the only reason I wanted a more recent modern car was because of a safety precaution. I wanted a backup camera.
Fair enough.
Because everything else I could solve with other things like backup camera and Bluetooth connection with speakers.
Can you not install a backup camera?
You can, but it's a big hassle.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Fair enough. But yeah, I would just buy a car that can at least take me from point A to point B. Part of the reason is because money. Another part of the reason is because environment. People.
Well,
yeah.
Most older cars are less environmentally friendly.
Right, but so think about this. About half of a car's pollution comes from when it's being manufactured. So over time, it's actually way more beneficial to just drive older cars.
That's fair. Get an electric boy.
But again, 50% of the pollution that it's going to cause anyway comes from...
What if it's already made?
That means it was made already.
So is the other car.
Are you telling me that I should buy a car that isn't made?
Yeah. We get a custom-made car.
All right, fair enough.
From Hasbro.
Either way, the point is... that's also another reason I don't want to drive as well, is because if I walk everywhere... Number one, it means I actually go outside of the house and walk places. And number two, it's better for the environment for me to just walk instead of drive.
So you're telling me that I should no longer feel bad about driving you places?
Mm-hmm.
I should no longer feel bad about not driving you places when I very easily could.
Could you rephrase the question in a way that makes more sense to me?
So, sometimes when we both go to something,
Yes.
or you go places without me taking you there, I feel bad.
Okay.
Because I feel responsible for you in some aspects. Because I just feel like you're wasting money or time that I could have just driven you there myself.
I mean, that's up to you if you want to feel bad about that.
God damn it.
I don't feel the way that I see. If you and
Should
I
though?
I don't care. Look, if you and I are headed to the same spot, then there's a part of me that says carpooling would be better for probably the environment.
Okay, that's a valid reason.
But, yeah, I don't. If it's a thing where make or break, I can't go because I can't afford a lift. Then yeah, I get a little bummed about that. But if it's something where I'm like, no, I can't go, or like you're like, hey, do you want to take a lift? And I'm like, boy, I really don't like riding in lifts, so pass. Then don't feel bad about that. Yeah.
Listen to this Castlevania-ass music.
It's good.
There's a castle on the screen. We can probably be done now.
We can probably be done. I feel like we should wrap it up in a nice, fun way or something.
In what way?
I don't know.
Tweet at us. Let us know if a man of Scott's age and stature and successfulness.
I know a ton of people who
should
are older than me.
Own a table.
Okay.
Or furnish the rest of his apartment.
It is furnished in my eyes.
Or get his license.
So it's pick one?
No, just all three.
Oh, okay.
Just answer all those. If he should.
No context, just the answers. Just the yeses or nos.
Uh-huh.
In that order. What was the order again?
It was
buy a
table, furnish apartment, learn to drive.
Learn to drive.
Easy
That'd be the
peasy.
one. Also,
what else don't you
do?
do?
Final one.
Yeah.
Tell me where I should move. Either
with a yes or no question.
With a yes or no question. Either California, somewhere else in Texas, or Virginia.
What do you mean somewhere else in Texas?
If I go to Disneyland.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like a different city. I'd be like, why?
No.
So and by different city, I mean, I know there's like a million in DFW. I meant like Austin or San Antonio.
So those would be, LA, Disneyland, Texas, and Virginia. Yes or no?
If you want this podcast to continue to thrive, vote Disneyland.
We can still make it work if I'm other places. I mean, look, if you're going to move to Colorado, then...
I don't know if I am.
Yeah.
That's like a decision that I will not make for at least a year.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm probably not going to move for at least another few months. If I decide on Disneyland, Texas, that's going to be the first one because that's easier to do.
It's not another statewide move.
Right, and I don't have to figure out how to move cats or anything like that. Whereas if it's any of the other two, then that'll probably also be another year. So we've got another big chunk of this podcast.
We got time. Yeah, but also people don't worry. This podcast isn't going to end. We'll figure it out, even if it means just doing it over the internet.
I do like the idea of flying out every month and like recording 4
fun.
episodes in a weekend or something like that.
We could hang out. That probably like in a year I'll be more successful and we'll be able to actually afford that.
You'd think so.
I've got things on the horizon. I got projects coming up. Starting a porn website.
Oh, what's it called?
Fuckboys.net.
I have a feeling that's taken.
Let's find out.
Can you buy it and have it reroute to the online podcast page?
Fuckboys.net.
Is it spelled exactly like correctly?
Yeah. Oh, it's 403 forbidden. Does that mean it's not taken?
I don't know.
Let's go to GoDaddy. GoDaddy.com.
This is the most important thing we've ever done.
GoDaddy.com. Let's see.
What is it?
Well, just to fill in the silence as we look. Fuckboys.net, sorry. fuckboys.net is... Oh, it's taken. Fuckboys.xxx is $100 though. Fuckboys.online, $5. All right. Anyway, that's it. Tweet those things at an online podcast on Twitter. Be sure to rate and review on iTunes.
What was that? What?
Rate and review.
Okay.
On iTunes.
Is that everything?
I think so.
We have a website, a new website up. I don't know if we talked about it ever since.
Go to onlinepodcast.website.
Yeah.
Officially. Hopefully.
It'll reroute to nerdsyncpodcast.com/online-podcast.
I mean, theonlinepodcast.com also works.
Yeah.
So,
but again, that reroutes to the other website that I just said. Yeah, you can listen to all of our SoundCloud stuff there and find links to where you can find it on other places like YouTube and iTunes and Stitcher and whatnot. So cool. Go check it out. Do we plug our Twitters or just leave? We're going to end it.
At Barack Hussein Obama.
Okay.
That won't fit. It's too long.
It's way too long. It's too many. Can you imagine trying to tag him?
Oh,
it's
that'd
crazy.
be a nightmare. Well, that doesn't count anymore.
If the original tweet is tagging, it does. The replies don't count it.
Yeah.
Okay. I am at Scott.
How many O's?
Just like 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
Well, that'd be like Scoot.
Just
that's me as a ghost.
Amazing.
I expect that parody account by the morning. Ghost Scott is just at Scoot.
Ooh.
Bye-bye.
For any of our viewers who have access to internet, we invite your comments.